Listen, we are very fortunate to live in a time when we get big budget superhero films like The Avengers and Iron Man and the Dark Knight trilogy. Those films are handled with reverence and care, unlike the superhero films from the 80s and 90s, films like Captain America, which we now have on Blu-ray thanks to Shout Factory. Wow, this is rough to watch. John Airy here with AintItCool.com, and this is my first time ever watching the 1990 Captain America movie. I went into it with a little bit higher expectations than I probably should have. It is awful, and there are so many things wrong with it, from the pacing to the story to the action scenes, all the way down to the awful, awful costume. I mean, we have this in HD, which is nice because you can really make out the fake Captain America ears. This is a typical Captain America story that hits most of the beats that you would expect it to hit. We have a guy named Steve Rogers who is a skinny weakling who has polio in the 1940s. He's enrolled into the Super Soldier program by the United States Army and turned into Captain America. Over in Europe, the bad guys, they've done the same thing with a guy, and they're calling him the Red Skull because their formula turns him into, well, this. The two face off early in the movie. Captain America loses. He's strapped to a rocket that is aimed at the White House. But luckily for the president, Captain America is able to divert the rocket. It crashes in Alaska and he is frozen. He then thaws out in the 90s.
Hey! Hey, bud! Get a cigarette?
And he's a man out of time. He has to come to grips with the fact that the world that he once knew is now no more, and he is now living in the future. The Red Skull is also still alive, and he's barely aged a day. Except now, he's had some plastic surgery and looks like a almost normal guy, except with some weird scarring. The Red Skull has this crazy, maniacal plan to kidnap the President of the United States and make him do his bidding. Captain America must go to Italy with the help of the daughter of the woman he was in love with in the 40s and stop the Red Skull. Now, the story, I mean, that sounds okay, that sounds somewhat engaging, but it is just a slog to get through. It seems like the first 15 minutes of the movie is just slow and boring. Then some interesting stuff kind of happens.
God bless you, Captain America.
We get the face-off between Captain America and the Red Skull, and the Red Skull actually looks kind of cool. He has this bloody, glistening face, and you know, I'm kind of a fan of the design actually. It looks cool, especially in a time when there's no CG. This is all practical effects. It's not bad. Captain America's costume, on the other hand, it's really awful to look at, and the whole time I'm like, can we please just get him into some other clothing or something? Oh man, that is an awful costume. So they have the big face-off, and again, it's just like a fist fight in a big warehouse. Not that exciting. And then we have to wait a long time to see these two face off again. And the build-up is just not worth it. In between, we have a few other action scenes, but they don't really make sense. They're not that engaging. One of them is shot in the dark, and it's really hard to even tell what's happening. Another happens in Canada with some motorcycles and a helicopter, and somehow Captain America gets away from the helicopter and the motorcycles by stealing Ned Beatty's truck in the most lame manner possible.
Going to get sick. Oh, okay, all right. Hey! Captain! Are you okay? Yeah. Hold it! No, wait, don't leave me out here!
Now look, we can complain about this movie all we want to, but we have to remember it was produced by one of the guys from Canon, and Canon movies are synonymous with cheap, low-budget production techniques, and they are all on display here with Captain America. Now this disc is pretty stripped down. You just get the HD film, and you get a short interview feature with Albert Pyun, the director, and Matt Salinger, who happens to be J.D. Salinger's son from Catcher in the Rye fame.
Mr. President! Thanks.
So why should we watch this movie? I think the biggest reason is pretty simple. I'm excited about The Winter Soldier coming up. I'm excited about The Avengers 2. I'm excited about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And we're very fortunate to have it. And we can complain all we want to about it. Absolutely. But do we really have that much to complain about when you compare it to this steaming pile of crap? I don't think we do. But those are just my thoughts on the new Captain America Blu-ray. What are yours? You can leave me your comments below and keep checking in with AintItCool.com for more news and reviews. I'm John Airy.